Hello, beautiful people. Thank you for joining me today for my mid-year setup in my new journal. It always feels good to start a new journal, like cracking it open, smelling the fresh, clean pages. It's also a little nerve-wracking, but it's nice to have a little bit of an idea to go off of, and I'm really matching my first year setup in my first journal. They're both, you're going to see, are warm and clean, minimal, simple. If you haven't seen that video, I'll have it linked in the cards. But I really like the simplicity of having a lot of negative space. That way I can really focus on the information right there in front of me, help me keep a little more organized. Here's a little sample. I'm using that first little awkward page at the beginning of every bullet journal to make kind of a heading, opening for the rest of the pages, 2022. And I'm using that same like old-timey numbers, like we've all seen that before. And then a really light, stretched, thin type cursive, which is pretty easy. It's just like my regular cursive, except I don't go very tall or very deep, and then I really give a lot of space in between each of the letters, but you'll see that quite a bit. The old-timey numbers, I looked it up, and they're called modern number 20. If you want to get a reference, that's what at least I saw on Google. But I'm using them with my months that I have here. And since this journal starts in the month of May, but it only will go till August, I'm going to have 3 journals for this year, each containing 4 months. I still wanted the rest of the year, September through December, so I included them as well. All of my supplies are really inexpensive. I'm using Crayola Super Tips. Right here is just one color, and then the rest of the markers are the Crayola Crayola Colors of the World, and then my one pen. And I love this pen. It's really, really easy to use. My husband bought me a little pack after he did a whole bunch of research about people, with jobs that write constantly, like lawyers and those kinds of jobs. And this was the the present he gave me when I really started in my journaling. So here's my future log, and my next page is my exercise tracker and my self-care tracker. I put that at the beginning of the journal because it's one of the most important things for me that I like to keep focused on. And in my first year setup, you'll see that I kind of did more of a horizontal tracker. I wanted to try to see all of the days line up, but see the whole month in one line. It didn't quite work how I wanted, so I'm trying this one out where it's vertical, and it's kind of like how you just scroll through your phone with the months right next to each other, and then I just kind of use the side margins to write the different months so you could really see where they start and where they stop. But this way I'll be able to see kind of my habits, my patterns. What days do I really take time to exercise, to move my body, to take care of myself? I have a number in the box, and then underneath that is a blank space, and so there I will have a symbol of what kind of exercise I was able to do. And then on the right side I have my self-care. I have it divided by 4 areas: mind, body, soul, and social, knowing that taking care of yourself definitely includes true friends that you can have. And so I just have different ideas here of things that reminders of things that I want to continue to do in my life. Using some washi tape that's kind of like a border. It's a little bit on the see-through side, so it makes it easy that I can just write underneath it, and I don't have to worry about any transfer or smudging if the washi tape doesn't allow the pen to dry quickly. So that's a little cheat if you haven't thought of that. Right underneath your washi tape, and then put the washi on top. Okay, and now, so this 2-page spread is kind of like a master task list merged with a cleaning tracker. I really tried a huge master task list in my first journal, and it just got a little overwhelming to see everything on top of each other. So I divided my 2-page spread into 4 sections: small, medium, large, and largest. So if a project only takes a few minutes, it goes into the smallest, maybe a couple of hours. So there are some of those ones that take a whole day, and then I reserve the largest section for those that take a whole weekend or a few days set aside in order to complete them. So that was kind of my idea when making this. So when I go to write my project or my task that I need to get done, so at some point in the future, I put it in between one of these, and then underneath, you see I have that little highlight, is the regular cleaning schedule things that I need to do. And that really helps me when I'm looking at my day, like, okay, I've only got this much time, or I have this big amount of time. What can I put in there so that I can be the most productive and not let anything get lost? Because that's usually my problem, is I have all these ideas and then I never understand about how much I need to plan to make it happen. I have my little bill tracker here. My husband and I, we pay 3 online bills, and it comes with, like a little reference number, and then I also like to write how much they were. Like, our electricity changes month by month depending on how hot it is and how much I use the fan. This next page is just a tracker for my doggie. Ginger, she's a rescue pup that we got, and you'll be seeing more about her in a future video. I have a whole plan with me coming up dedicated to her, but she takes 2 medications and I have to keep track of when they are. But she didn't need the whole page, so I used the bottom half for a wish list, not only for myself but also gifts for others that I love, my husband and my family and friends. And now this 2-page spread maybe could be tweaked to whatever you need, like as a projects or maybe things in your own home. But when I made this journal, I knew we were going to be moving. So I divided my entire house by 8 different sections, and this is where I wrote everything that needed to get done, that needed to get packed, that needed to be fixed or moved. And it really helped me, like I said, not get things lost or jumbled, and I was able to really focus on completing a room, and so that not anything was left behind. My title there is the scripture Acts 17:28, about Sekahi, we could move. It's more about, being able to move physically, but I thought it was fitting for what we were doing. In my first year setup, I still have some spiritual trackers and spreads. I have my Bible bookshelf. I'm trying to read the Bible chronologically this year. I have my spiritual goals, and I have my favorite scriptures, but I wanted to include my blessings and my prayers for this span of 4 months, because those are constantly happening, and I like to have a spot where I write them down, and then I can come back and be reminded of them. The prayers I have it divided by 2, one for personal requests and help needed, and then one for others as well. Okay, so this is the flip through. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that I gave you some inspiration or some ideas. If you want to see more, I have a lot coming up. Please subscribe and like the bell, I think is what you're supposed to do. And also, if you want some still photos of these, it's on my Instagram, Look at the Nooks, also down in the description box below. But thank you so much for your time. Thank you for coming back and seeing me again, or if this is your first time, welcome. See you guys in the next one.